Bonjour et merci, bienvenue en français. Hello and welcome to this specific episode. Well, it's not going to be an episode, but today we will be previewing the Rugby World Cup. Yes, this is going to be the first different sport we are going to do, because we do know Rachel Rambo, like it says on the About section, it is about all different sports. So it isn't about football, it won't just be primarily about one sport, it will be about all the others. So today we will be talking about rugby, and I do have another sport actually in my planning also. But while we're here then, it's Rugby World Cup. It is coming so fast. I remember when it was in 2019 in Japan, what a competition it were, as South Africa did get crowned the world champions after they did defeat England in Yokohama in Japan. Hopefully that won't happen this time, but you never know. You never know in a World Cup. But while we're here, let's get underway. And first of all, let's talk about Pool A of the Rugby World Cup. And then let's move to Pool A, where the likes of France and New Zealand are obviously in this group. France are obviously in it because, well, they are the hosts. They are the hosts of this World Cup, and they actually expect to get top spot in this group. French rugby at the minute is very, very strong. And I'm not even talking about Rugby League. Obviously, Rugby Union, you've got La Rochelle that won the European Champions Cup, which is the equation of like the Champions League. We played some brilliant rugby to beat Leinster, I believe, from Ireland in that one. And yeah, basically about that. They have a very, very good team, France. They do have a decent squad. They've got a decent attack, decent defence. Obviously, that can play with France's hands. And obviously, what Fabien Galtier, the manager of this French rugby side, has done with the overall French squad is quite incredible, to be fair. I mean, France, about, 4 years ago, they weren't a rugby minnow, but they didn't treat rugby a lot there. Now, how has that 4 years changed? It's changed drastically. And now France is one of the main leaders in rugby at the minute. Obviously, they did win the Six Nations last year, so obviously with a Grand Slam. So they are a very, very good team. However, when you have a team like the All Blacks in this pool, you know that they are also expected to get top spot. So overall, they will be competing between France and New Zealand between what can happen. What I will say, though, is France do play New Zealand in the first game. What a cracker of a game that will be, by the way, at the Stade de France. That will be an absolute cracker. The other three teams, Italy, Namibia and Uruguay, well, I put it this way, I don't think they qualify. I don't think they are qualifying, because if I am honest, I think it will be France and New Zealand that will finish first and second. And I'm actually going to go for not a particularly shock, but it could be for some people. I'm going for France first, because I think overall, another stat is they have only lost 2 of their last 20, so they know how to win games, Le Bleu and France. So I am saying the Roosters of France will get top spot. Join with New Zealand. New Zealand would probably finish first, but because Scott Barrett is obviously suspended because he did pick up a red against South Africa, and the fact they aren't usually used to the Northern Hemisphere, I'm going to say New Zealand will finish second. Italy, I think, then will get third. I mean, they are a little bit better than they were in 2019. They have actually won a Six Nations match this year. They did beat Wales. So that obviously means that, well, they've still got that confidence of obviously beating Wales from last year. So I'm going to say Italy third. It could be a 2-horse race between Uruguay and Namibia. But I'm going to say Uruguay will take 4th spot. I think they will get it, Uruguay. They have defeated Namibia in the last 2 competitions, the last 2 times. And they did finish last in the group, Uruguay, but they did beat Fiji. And Fiji are a rising star, and you'll know why later. Fiji could be a dark horse in this Rugby World Cup. But I think because of that, I'm going to go Uruguay 4th, and then Namibia will finish 5th. I think overall the quality will hurt them. The fact that they are a little bit of a minnow of a rugby side compared to like the likes of France and New Zealand. So my prediction is France first, New Zealand second, Italy third, Uruguay 4th, and Namibia in 5th place. It will be now where obviously we do know the world champions and the world number 1 are in this pool. And I am going to say this pool is the pool of death. This is pretty much the hardest pool you can think of, with the likes of Ireland, South Africa, Romania, Tonga, and Scotland all in this pool. Now, this is going to be a very, very tough pool to actually predict, but when you think of it, I think it will be a lot easier. I mean, in Pool B, you've got the world champions of South Africa. Sadly, Rassie Erasmus isn't managing the South African team anymore. Hopefully, though, Fafterkirk can deliver for South Africa, and hopefully he can lift that trophy once again for the Springboks. And then you've obviously got Ireland, who are the world number one. They are the number one team in the world. They did win the Grand Slam in the Six Nations, so that shows really that the Irish are nothing to be messed with. And actually, a lot of people are saying that Ireland will win this Rugby World Cup. Put it this way, this is their best chance for the Irish to deliver some rugby silverware. Then obviously you've got Scotland, who a lot of people are saying as a potential dark horse. They could be a potential dark horse there, Scotland. We do know Scotland are a very good team. We've got a very packed team, obviously, Scotland. You've obviously got Ricky van der Merwe, who is a very good player there for the Scottish rugby squad. And altogether, I think what Scotland are doing, what Gregor Townsend is doing there with his Scotland team, is a very good progress. And, yeah, they could deliver some shocks. Then Tonga. Tonga are obviously a team that, well, you more think of rugby league than you do rugby union, but, well, they are still a good team in rugby union. I mean, their fans may push their team. I mean, Tongan fans are very, very loud, and they come in numbers. Trust me, they do come in numbers. And I mean, fair enough, they will be going all the way across the world to go to France, but I will credit every single Tongan fan that does go to France, because I tell you what, they will make some sort of noise in that place. Then obviously in fifth place, Romania. Obviously Romania, I am a bit sorry for them, but I don't think Romania will overly do that great in this group. I think the fact that they are playing 3 of the 5 best teams in the world in this pool of Ireland, Scotland and South Africa pretty much says it all really there for Romania. I think they will try their best, do not get me wrong, they will try their best, as you do, but I don't think they will produce that energy. I think with Romania, they won't produce like all the other nations will. Obviously, Tonga, Scotland, Ireland, and South Africa's level. So my prediction in this pool will be Ireland first. I think Andy Farrell will do good things there with his Ireland team. Then the Springboks second, South Africa second. They are the world champions, so they will pretty much have to go through. Plus, they absolutely destroyed New Zealand 34-6 at Twickenham. So obviously that is in the Northern Hemisphere. France is in the Northern Hemisphere. New Zealand are a team that may potentially struggle in the Northern Hemisphere. So, yeah, I think if South Africa can do that to them, they will do that to a lot of other teams, trust me. Then I'm going to go for Scotland third. Even though they are the dark horse, I don't think they can match with the level of Ireland and South Africa. They will try their best, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they will get the level with Ireland and South Africa's term. Fourth, then, I'm going to go there for Tonga. I think Tonga, like I said, they won't really do good, but I still think their squad will carry on, and they do have some big rugby players there at Tonga. I'm sure they will do a job there for the Tongis. And then the fifth, I am going to go there for Romania, because, well, I just think altogether they're playing 3 of the 5 best sides. It will be tough for Romania. It will be very, very tough. So, yeah, I'm saying Ireland first, South Africa second, Scotland third, Tonga fourth, and Romania fifth. Now, on to Pool C, where this pool isn't really as competitive as the other 2 pools, but it will still be a very intriguing pool, nevertheless to say. So you do obviously have Australia, the Wallabies are in this group. Then you have Fiji, Wales, Portugal, and Georgia in your group. So first of all, I am going to talk about Australia because, well, it is Eddie Jones who is managing Australia. He used to manage England and guided England to a World Cup final when they did lose to South Africa. I personally think, as an England fan, we should have Eddie Jones instead of Steve Borthwick. But, you know, it is what it is. But I think Eddie Jones' Australia will still do okay in this World Cup. They have lost their last 5 games, and ironically, it's all in 2023. So they haven't won a single game in 2023, which is a little bit concerning. And well, what can we say about that? If you haven't won a single game in 2023 and you're heading up to a Rugby World Cup, that is quite concerning. However, Eddie Jones, he is a man that isn't a negative man. Obviously, we have heard on one of his press conferences where he basically shushed a man because of, well, all of his negativity. They were like, this is the worst job I've took because of all of his negativity. So, altogether, I think if he can calm down that negativity, Eddie Jones, and lead Australia, obviously, to a better position, then that will be good for them. Then we are going to talk about Fiji, and well, the Fijians, they have also been classed as a potential dark horse there, Fiji. They obviously have a very strong team, similar to Tonga, but a little bit better. They did beat England away from home, so they went all the way up to the Northern Hemisphere to play against England at Twickenham, and well, they beat England. They beat England by, I believe it was 30 points to 26, but they did beat England, so that is obviously a positive there for the Fijians. 22 to 30, they did win Fiji. So, yeah, and this is probably their best chance to qualify, gathering all the other 3 teams that are in it. And then let's talk about Wales. Wales, they are usually a pinnacle rugby team. They usually take this tournament seriously. This year, however, it's not the case. They are under pressure neither the way. I think Wales and England, how the mighty have fallen, put it that way. I think Wales, they were once a very, very good team, but obviously after Alan Wynne-Jones obviously retired, that has made the Welsh a little bit more weaker of a team. I mean, don't you forget, 2 years ago, they did win the Six Nations, which seems ages off from now, but they did win the Six Nations 2 years ago. And then look, we're heading into 2023, and this is probably one of the most negative feelings about about a Wales squad, which is, well, a bit gutting if you are a Wales fan. I mean, what I will say is Wales obviously still have some very, very good players. Lee Halfpenny, obviously, he is a very experienced player who will be playing under the flanks for Wales. So he will be there, and I believe he might be captain. I can't remember, but either way, I know Alan Wynne-Jones won't be at this World Cup, so that will be a little bit concerning there for Wales. They could potentially get knocked out. This is probably for Fiji. If they are looking at Wales, they are thinking, hang on a minute. We can qualify. And then the other 2, well, Georgia, they're ones to watch. I believe they will cause a potential upset in this World Cup. They have been classed as potentially a new Six Nations side, potentially replacing Italy and having Georgia in the mix. I mean, Georgian rugby is very competitive. They take rugby very seriously over there in Eastern Europe. They did defeat Portugal, actually, in the European Championships, which basically granted Georgia a place in this World Cup. So they did win that competition. And talking about that, Portugal we do have as the 5th team. This is their first time since 2007 there for the Portuguese. So they will obviously want to win this indeed. They will obviously want to win a game, that is. They will have a good time. They are a very attacking side, we do know. However, I think in this pool, it will not be enough. So, what am I going to say? Then, I'm going to say Australia will top the group, and I know there has been a lot of negativity. They've lost the last 5 games, but I believe they will top the group, Australia. I think overall their quality will be a bit better to obviously defeat the likes of Wales, Fiji, and so on. However, second place, this is going to be a little bit of a bold prediction. I am going to say Fiji will get second place. I think altogether, they have a good squad depth, and I think with Wales, they need to be careful. They need to be careful, because I'm saying they missed the knockout rounds, and that, for Wales, is depressing. Wales, very, very strong rugby team. They are very passionate about the sport of rugby, so if they do not even make the knockout round, I can imagine the fury there will be in Cardiff, Swansea, Aberystwyth, Wrexham, all of them. They will be disappointed. Then 4th, I'm going to go there for Georgia. I think they are the ones to watch. However, I don't think they have enough depth to obviously compete with the likes of Australia, Fiji and Wales. And then 5th, I will be going there for Portugal. Like I said, they will have a very good time. However, I don't think they will complete the quality of the other 4 sides. So there it is. That's my prediction for Pool C. Now, the final one. And last but not least, on here to Pool D. And last but not least, let's have a look at Pot D then for this Rugby World Cup. So first of all, we do have Argentina, Los Pumas. Now what we do know with Argentina is they are a very promising side. They always have been a promising side. But this year just seems like it's going to be a little bit different there for Argentina. As well, in rugby, they did obviously beat Australia in the Rugby Championship, which is a tournament they do in the Southern Hemisphere. Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia and Argentina do obviously do that. And well, they did beat Australia Argentina by 31-34. They did beat them at Parramatta, so they even beat them in Australia, which is equally as impressive there for the Pumas. And well, the best thing is there for Argentina, in the World Rugby Rankings, they are actually 6th, I believe, which is, well, the highest Argentina have ever been, which is very, very impressive there for them. The fact that Argentina, they are in 6th, is the highest position they have ever got to. So they will be thinking, they will be confident, they will think, hang on, we can finish first in this group. Then let's talk about Chile. Well, it is their first ever World Cup appearance, so for them, it's just going to be a little bit of pride. Just see what can happen, play for pride, I guess. I mean, they will still be fun to watch, don't get me wrong. I mean, a debut team always is. But I just don't think they'll have enough quality. Then we have the English, which, similar to Wales, they are in a bit of a dire situation there with Steve Borthwick as well. He is under pressure. If they do not, let's say they do not potentially get out of the group, his job will be on the line and he could potentially get sacked as manager of England if that is the case. And an even worse thing is there for England, if they've got no Owen Farrell and no Billy Vanapola, and then are two very, very key players there for England, especially Owen Farrell, because he's a very, very good kicker. I mean, granted, Marcus Smith is a good kicker, but I think the fact that, well, Owen Farrell is injured will mean Marcus Smith, the Harlequins player, he will then have to play and he will then have to kick to potentially, well, win them games. And yeah, they don't have the abilities they did in 2019. 2019, they were one of the best teams in the world, England. That is why they did get to the final and did beat the All Blacks in some dramatic style. But yeah, they just don't have that ability what we did have in 2019. Another team that didn't have the ability in 2019 is the Japanese. And well, with Japan, they caused some shocks last year. In 2019, they caused some real shocks. They beat Ireland and they beat Scotland in their group. And they were two of the favourites that were supposed to go through. I believe it was Scotland that didn't even make it out of the group because of what Japan did when they did beat them. However, in 2023, things haven't really been so sailing. 1 out of 5 wins in 2023 there for the Japanese. So that really says, well, they haven't really been in good form. And that win was against Tonga. So, I mean, they did win against a team in the World Cup, but they do not really have the ability. Samoa, they have a better ability. I mean, what we do know is they could cause some shocks. They have beat some strong sides. And when they did play against Ireland, I believe they played for Ireland in France, potentially. They did give them a good game. I mean, they only lost that game by 17 points to 13, which, well, in rugby equations, isn't really much. But, well, they tested Ireland in that game. Eventually, Ireland's quality did show as being the number 1 seed, and they did end up winning that game. But still, Samoa did still give it their best. So, while we're here, what we're going to do for predictions then. So, in first spot, I'm actually going to go for Los Pumas Argentina there in first. Second, then I'm going to go for England. Third, why not go for Japan? I think Japan will finish third. Fourth, it will be Samoa with the Sivatoi. Then the fifth, let's go there for Chile, because it is their first ever World Cup appearance. I don't think they'll do much overall in the grand scheme of things. So there it is, Argentina and England will be going through there to the knockout round, in my opinion. Rightio, then that concludes the pool stage of this Rugby World Cup. So if you do like that video, you can give it a like or a little subscription. There will be more sporting stuff coming in with Rightio Rambo content. But for the time being, I will get going. I will go. See you soon. Stay safe. Talking to you in a while. Rambo says bye for now. See ya and bye-bye.